I've made this version of the video many times. Let's see if this version makes it out to you. This is the parking garage. This is the elevation of the as-built, if you will, surveyed during by the engineer they hired. So you're looking at the elevations. Remember, it is supposed to be 11 foot 10 elevation on the deck. You see it at 9.62 because they started taking elevations from somewhere else. Now, part of the investigation will include when the courts get hold of it, they will take a survey of the floor, and then we'll be able to get the elevation. Well, if they publish them, the elevation from the floors compared to the elevation of the ceiling height of the floor above the pool deck parking garage area. This is taking it off of the tile, off of the existing, as I understand it. I want to make a couple of notes here. There's a drain here, and there's a drain here. This is L, and this is M. And there are the columns. At the columns, the drains are put in these boxes, these planer boxes, are right in the critical shear area, which is not acceptable. Not acceptable. There's no way that they reinforce that. We don't see that in the garage. So they basically just drilled a hole in there, a hole in the concrete to do their drainage system and put these boxes back in the day. My bias is that this is a weakened structure over here because of the hole here, and the reveal of the inspection hole here showing it the core sample sheared apart, separated. My other bias position is that so the video, I don't know if you've been over to Rumble yet, and I don't know if this is going on Rumble or YouTube, which one first, but rest is one of my keywords that I give you in my teaser video, and what I'm saying is object at rest tends to stay at rest. So these cars, the decking here came to rest on top of the cars. I'm not ready to release this one yet. I have to edit it, but you can find images where you'll see this double panel, this panel, and this panel here maybe, or this panel and that panel. Combination of these individual panels, two of them here stacked up in a view of a camera shot from the north side to the south, up in the sky, obviously, from the sky view, bird's eye view. Not quite bird's eye view, that means above. So it's up from this direction, from the north, east, northwest, over to this direction where they show the panel there. This is part of the video that I'm going to present, but I'll give you a teaser of it to help you out. Here is our column right about here. Right about here is a column at 971. And and the shrubbery that went down this side, I'll tell you now, this side of the deck, something like this. Went down first. This hung on to it was actually stronger, hung on to the wall longer than this side over here. How can I state that? How do I know that? First, let me play one of my games I play. Imagine a tire lug nut system. You can just put 3 lug nuts on it. If that bothers you, you can add more. This is clamp force is 85. The clamp force on this is 90. The clamp force on this one is 115. So I ask you, which one is doing the work here? Which one's doing the most work? In my other video, I don't phrase it this way, but this will give you a cheat. Well, the 85, right? It's clamp force. I said clamp force, not torque. So understand that there's a difference. So the clamp force is 85, 90, and 115. Which one's doing the most work here? Assuming that everything's in balance, the distance, the bolts, everything is all the same there. The 115 is doing the most work. So which one will fail first? Well, the 115 would fail first. It's doing the most work. Not moving tire or anything else, just in general, the stress, if you can apply stress with it without rotating. But 115 is doing the most work, so it should fail first. Then the 90 and 85. Let's do that back. Let me back that out. Over here, we have the separation and the butterfly of the deck, I call it. Well, this is, so I'm really going to give away. So I might as well just go shout out to Charles, because Charles has been talking to me on the phone for some time. Charles is an engineer, follows us here. So Charles, this is where we see, where I show that this part of the wall system is on top of the shrubbery in the previous video, or on Rumble, one on YouTube or one on Rumble. The bottom of the wall system is in between the shrubs here, between them on an angle like this. Now, Charles sent me an image, and I said, well, Charles, that's not all of the image, because the firemen moved it. At one point, there was a little railing here also. And this railing now is taking, at the image we see it. Okay, delete. So the image that we observe, it looks like it would be like this, and a bit of a turn, and then it doubles back. That is, and then this was actually over here in this direction. So how did, if this piece, I believe that we're looking at here, that, let's put that aside now, is this piece. And this is the railing, and the railing goes like that and back to this column, the column right here, column that's on the wall, not on the, not a column that's holding the deck up. And that little return there is this return. So this fits over top of that. Maybe it's a little too long there then. There we go. Oh. Nevertheless, it fits there. Oops. Trying to get it out of the way now. Alright, so that one's there. How did it, I was very facetious in a video that I just might as well give it away this way. There's a truck here, and the truck backed up. And when the truck backed up, be careful with me, I'm going to play one of my games again. When the truck backed up, it hit the wall here, and that caused this whole thing to collapse. It knocked into this wall, rotating this, knocked into the wall, fracturing this plane here, and over at 1 o'clock in the morning, it developed all the way out to here, like this, you know, with the collapse. Okay, let me take that back now. It sure is a possibility, and I looked into it, except for the trucks appears to be right about, maybe a little bit more. Maybe about there, the back end we're looking at. Maybe a little bit more. And it's just crossed the plane, but it's not over here. Just misses it if you guys look at it. So that didn't take place, but that would give us a fracture there. There's a fracture on this box here, but on this box, when you look from this direction, on this box, and you're looking from that direction from the driveway, the box looks like this. And that's the fracture. So this is leaning down, open. Let's delete that, and that would be on this side. Let's delete this. All right, so your card, I don't believe, hit it. I gave it some consideration. This also is what's missing elevation-wise. This is like a little curb here, concrete curbing there, and sort of on a ramp like that. And then there's the box, this box. You can find that in overhead images if you want to challenge me on it. Just find it. Let's look, then remember, these are the elevations. So I try to find a sagging in the deck, and basically all these are pretty much bringing water to the drains, with a couple of little ponding spots. If it gets off in 48 hours, no harm, no foul. But it comes over there. And remember this, the pavers are pretty much about 95% waterproof, if you will, as far as the water. Oh, damn phone, I left my phone, hold on. Yeah, nope, it was plugged in, it was all right. So so you're only getting about 5% penetration, only, I state. You do the math, it's a lot of penetration, especially depending on how they did it around here. But that's not going to be too much of my concern yet in this video. There's a couple of spots that automatically pond, like right here. This is 971, but it's in a corner, so you know it can't quite get out that easy. This side, this is 988. and there's the drain down here at 959. So this is your higher point. Just read the numbers as you see them, and the high one are the high numbers and the low one are the low numbers. So this is higher than that. This is higher than that. So water will go the two directions here. On this side, it's a little more tricky. There's a 950 here. All the water will come from here to here, from here to here. These drains are confirmed to be in place by visual photographs that I was able to observe. That I don't know if they're functional, but they're in place. You can see the low spot there, and all the water does make its way there. If you look at the failed area here, there's a drain here. It makes it to the 937. All right. Months ago, I did a video where I show that in 1980s they did some crack repair along around this area here, is what I theorized, all the way, possibly all the way down, the way they wrote it up. Now I'm going to do the big reveal in just a second. Back to the wall over here, this is what I was talking about where water runs away, towards and away. So right here is where they're claiming, let's be clear, Josh and I, and perhaps a couple other people were claiming the same thing, that water penetration was the issue over here. On this side of the deck, water falls onto it, it goes away. It does not go towards there. On this side, water could go towards there. But look at the elevation. This is the street now, out there, 10.3. 9.97. These are feet. If I said inches, I apologize. These are feet. So here's 9.82 feet over here. Here's 9.45 feet. So this is higher over there. All right, here's top of wall. Here's top of wall. And sometimes it says TOC, top of curb, but there is no TOC here. Down here where my mouse is, it's 8.33. Here's 8.94. As you can see, the street is pretty pitched. There's 2 feet of drop from here, 1030. See it, 1030 and 833, roughly 830. There's 2 feet of drop in this span. So that out on the street side, there's a significant pitch of water running off towards the drain that I did verify by using Google Earth. There is this drain at the bottom of the corner there. So drainage is off, is going away. As far as the stone goes, it was curbing there. They removed the curbing. They put the stone in. And that's why we see the approximately 4 inches or so of revealed wall. It's not that it's settled or anything else, just that they didn't go back at that elevation. Again, this is supposed to be 11 foot 10 inches throughout, but now it's almost like 9.6 feet. Here's 10 feet over here. So this was after the pavers were put in. Remember, they made that huge layer, that thick layer on top of this of concrete, of waterproofing, of sand bed, and of tile. And this elevation is here now. It's approximately 6 inches. So somewhere they removed 2 feet of height off of this building. I spoke to a couple of the Florida engineers down there, and they couldn't find it either where the change took place. Obviously, if one of you guys are a surveyor, you can tell me if you're down there, and tell me about the change that took place there where the elevation changes. What is the elevation change? Not just at this location, but in general around there. And then we can extrapolate to this one. If you want to find this location, that would be awesome. They have access to survey books. Surveyors do. Okay. So, all right, back to this. So you see the heights, the elevations, 9.6. All of it's running off. I don't see any crazy dips. What I don't see though, okay. So what I don't see, let me reveal down here. So remember we saw that little dip over here by the wall, and I said, look at that. It's a dip over there. I did a video. Well, it's kind of a dip. 989, 985. It's practically nothing at all. There's 10 feet. There's 10.22. It was somewhere right about this column here that we see that significant drop. I don't see that here. In fact, it's up here, which is you want to be up to make the drop. But I don't see that significance there. This is 0.15 of a foot. It's so 0.25 is 3 inches. So right about there is, sorry, helicopter is going over there. is an inch and some change. It seemed like it was more than that, but apparently it's just about inch and some change, inch and a half, 2 inch. Not quite. Remember, 0.25 is 3 inches, and there's 10, and we're at 0.15. So we're about inch and a half, approximately right there, and then it gently climbs back up, knocking off 0.5 of a foot. I said inches again, didn't I? Of a foot. 0.05. All right, so let's get rid of this one. And so save it if you, yeah, okay. Let's pull up so I talked to you about that. Let's move this out of the way. And let's take a quick look at this. All right, don't get excited. Don't think this is a column. This is probably where they lifted and raised it with straps. Then they painted it, and then they punched through it and lift this out. As you can see, the blue line, the blue ink here. But later, someone could accidentally mistake that to be some column at the corner building of the 9th floor with this radius. You know, it doesn't identify the actual location, does it? Tags there, maybe it does. But don't get excited and start seeing cones and everything else. It's probably just strapping. That's inside of the structure. There's the wall framing, and we go from there. This is a radius. This is a very interesting radius. There's the hook. See the hook details? So there's the hooks. The hooks. I do not see the railings. All right, let's get rid of that. And over here, this is the stirrups, I think, missing. Over here, we see this reinforcement. It's not touching each other. Well, because you can't see what you can't see. It's bypassing and coming in contact with the underside. But optical illusion-wise, you may think not. This appears to be the floor, and the rebars there. One of the floors or one of those locations like that. We'll blow this off now and go to, I'll get rid of that one. And let's just hit this in the background real quickly. So this is the testing that's showing in one of my effects of pile driving induced vibration. Right, see, you can look at this. They sandbag 2 of these so they don't vibrate excessively and give false readings. 1, 2, excessively high readings, false high readings. 1, 2, 3, 4. And it even matters where you put the person. You know, how far you stand away, etc. Don't get in its path for pressure, overpressure, etc. Now, etc. twice. This will give you a vibration history, how it works its way over and overpressure. Let's get rid of that. I just wanted to give you that. This is the Don Lehman's Miami Herald. I saw on Twitter that they're bragging about winning a Sydney Award, whatever the heck that is. Obviously, they don't know what somebody just gave them a rubber stamp, because it states right here in their own video and their own narrative, none of the scenarios based on Adriana's video created a damage pattern consistent with what occurred at Champlain Towers, according to the Herald, U.S. University of Washington model, Don L. Lehman. All right, so they, again, it's really worthy of it, because these people are putting the narrative out there, and the narrative is pushing fakery. You know, look, it says it clearly that it doesn't include the video. She couldn't reproduce it, but then did an entire booklet on it, and then it says, now, look, we won an award for our presentation. Obviously, the people that gave them the award didn't know how to evaluate themselves, so that just tells me anybody getting a Sydney Award is worth shit all. Sydney Award now, it just automatically, if you gave it to that, it's worth shit all. You didn't really do anything besides rubber stamp. Now, I'm ready. I'm not ready for that yet. I want to show you. Oh, shit, really? Oh, it's over here. Here. So I need to show you this. This is for the video in the background. This is the tributary area for shear on interior beams. This is with a beam system. This is not beamed. This two-way slab system here is not beamed. But without the beam system, this is what we're looking at. We're looking at this 45 degree coming in from each column This is a rectangular array. They're using 2 panels, if you will, 1 and 2. That's the total acceptable 1979 also, to get away with 2 panels for your triangular array. The offset thing just throws me off, though. At what point? I think the moment you don't meet your offset requirements of no more than 10 degrees, no more than 20 in any triangle array, then I think you just failed right there. That's why the BMAs, I say, are so critical. They're not an option because I can't make it work. With that said, people say, well, it lasted 40 years. In spite of itself, it lasted 40 years. Recall that they started working on it instantly with the repair of the concrete. We look at the garage video now. The garage video, if you look right here, let's take a image. Let's take the screenshot, and let's look at the cracks, and let's draw the crack in. See the crack? There's the column. So I started mapping out all these cracks, going crazy on a map, and then I said, you know what? I'll just give you guys the short version. Here is a bypass a little bit, but it's coming back around, and let's stop there. Ooh, let's continue it though, because it looks like it comes back this way. Coming back that way would be towards what? Another column. This is this one coming back towards us over our head where the viewer is looking, the observer. And there it's meeting there. Okay, here's one here. Look at the pipe. It appears to be about center line between these 2 columns. Here's one here from the pipe, about center line. I'll get you a little better video of that. It's coming back towards the column. What is it starting to look like? It's starting to look like the stresses of the mid-span are deflecting. That this deck is failing where you would expect it in this triangle array in the midsection. This is over here. Here's a pool way down here. So if we turn to the left, we would be to the okay. We would be. Let's move that off a little bit. Okay, so there's let's take note of the cracks. See the cracks coming back to the column. Here's going away from the column. There's the other one on the other side. This is the midline. And it's meeting beautifully. It's failing right where it should fail, that deflection in the middle. And that's roughly extrapolating where they put all this urethane repair in the 80s. This is here. Now, the other thing I would argue is that the steel in the driveway down here, everything from the bottom of the ramp over to here is how you can see it. I'm sorry. So it would be more... looking at the failed area down here is where you're going to look for cracks in the pad. Now remember, this pad is theoretically still sitting on an earth type product, probably a lot of voids, but now and then it still sits there, and that gives it support, distributing the load. But even with that said, there's many cracks in this pad. That would extrapolate because the steel in this pad is equal to the steel in the ceiling, with the exception of a couple of extra pieces down here. And in other words, the layout, this concrete, same thickness as here pretty much. And now we get to look at the reveal of what it looks like without pavers or without stamped concrete. You're looking down here and you find, well, here's the tributary area with this crack right down the middle. Where is it water? But nevertheless, there is what I'm observing. All right, so she's over here by the elevators, so she'll come around. And there's one there above your head. Let me back up a little bit. See, right above your head, there's the panel, the little water panel they use, whatever the heck it is. And then there's a fracture here, and there's a fracture there. And here's our span, and there's our span. This is where the cars go across above. Okay, give me a second. I gotta take this privately, but I can't mute this thing, so I can only mute. Okay, so yes, so let me play this now. Sorry about that. So that's the step down. Looks like another one of those panels. Wait a minute, let me back it up a little bit. There are cameras down here also. I saw them. Looks like another one of those panels there. And it's right between the middle of the column again, the crack going down the middle. Of course, there's a panel over there too. But we look at the floor here, and we're coming to the same. We're coming to the same issue. Yeah, the same issue. And this is where I stated yesterday's video, not the where you can above our head to the left is where the piece of concrete stays at the building plane. And somebody's telling me a message. And right. And I said, this is the walkway you come out, and I think there's cars parked there. Well, it looks like I recall correctly. There are cars there. I'm trying to look to the right. All right, there are your cars. So this would stop your vehicles as this collapses down. This would stop the bring this decking to rest. And at this point, this is the one we see exposed. This is K, I believe. This is K. Yeah, that's K. This is K. This is the one we see with the head above it, the little purple head, if we will. This is also the face of the building as we look down this row here. Yeah, this is K, that face of the building. All right, so this is L, and that would be the M, KLM. Now these two, this is the offset. This is the one with the parking garage above, the planter box. And this is the other planter box. I'm trying to show you the floor. Hold on, let's go back to the ceiling too, also rather. So I meant, because it's about the best I'm going to get on that ceiling, if I recall right. All right, so shout out to my man in Florida who, when I did this video, there's that grid ceiling stuff again. A lot of leakage there, and that's part of the deck, flat deck up there, not the transition. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, that's right. Whoa. Then this is yeah. Okay, so then this is the what's back here? This is out here. This is sorry, yeah. K out there at the K, well, this is K, L, and M. And this is the transition for the deck going up. We should see drains right there. There's a drain, I believe, going up and by this column here coming down, and the one over here goes right by that column. We can see the water issues. Of course, you see the ceiling repaired stuff. Anyway, let's move it on. So on the other side of this, so there is L. M is on the other side. This is where we can get the deck falling down. No vehicles there. There's also the control joint over here that I can't. I tried to find a fracture there, cracked. This is the two deck system here. Clearly, you can see it. The separation where they did the core sampling was right on this other side of this. Wow, it's in the driveway, right there, right about the in the driveway. Let's go around and take a peek from the other side here. So this the deck lowers down. It's over here by off. So right about here is where they took their core sample. This is the transition up, but then it was next to the M. Next to M and M. So I'm going to show you the floor just now. I'll give away this right now. You see this pipe right here? This pipe is so critical in one of my videos that I was hoping someone would challenge me with. It's so critical. This pipe right here and this one. These are like critical in an imagery I'm going to present to you. I should just give it away to you now since it's a giveaway video. Go look at the where they're cleaning out the garage. You'll find the pad. This pad right here is laying on the ground, scraped off, cleaned off. It just went straight down. Apparently, you know, it just sheared away, dropped down just like it did by the car garage area. And I believe that's what we see in the photographs. And there's our shear plane. This remained until the structure collapsed and drove it all down. There is right here hold on. Down here is what I wanted to show you, is that all things considered, this is the crack in this deck here and crack in this deck here. We're inside the building at this point, but there is the same steel inside the building as it's down here. And I get to see how it reacts with loading of vehicles and span-wise. And this is showing tributary failure between the span here and here, considering, and I hope they do samples right next to this of each one of these holes and see how, if the pad was sitting on top of the footers or on the pier heads, or are they sitting, how were they configured, or is there a big sand bed and then this was sitting on top of a sand bed which sat on top of the pier heads, pier caps. Wow, pier heads, huh? All right, I'm losing it. Pier caps. So this tributary area, just like across the other place, has a failure down the middle. I mean, this is the same framing, span, same contractor at this time, and we're getting these consistent failures on the floor that I was able to observe here, another location, and this is vehicle traffic. All right, so I'm going to let it turn, and you'll see it better right here. And again, this is only the same steel layout. Okay, there's the right, a little bit more. So this is the planter. Let me go back. This is the drain for the planter box, this lower planter box. This like that little 6-inch step up curb thing that goes right about to there, and that's what he did a core sample right here. Inside that planter box is a drain, and there is the drain there. I don't know what it comes out to, but it is the drain there, right there. So that's in the critical shear area. One more time, getting back to this, you can see that this is the way the loading tributary area for shear on an interior beam. Just loading like that. Again, this has they're pulling off from there. And this is also pulling off from here, but without that acting like a two-way slab, it's still this revealing itself as center failure, if you will, here. So I mapped all of this stuff. And when I map it, it traces back to columns. They go back to columns. This one, they got a couple of stray dogs that go kind of weird. Like this one, look, it goes here. It turns and comes back around to there. It comes back to there. It still made it to the tributary area. This side didn't develop as much. There's like another section of it there. Let's see. Okay. So when she turns, yeah, I had to go through it many times just to do this mapping and triangulation. A lot back here, lots back there. But it didn't fail there, did it? So the and what's very critical to note between what's the issue back there is that this is an entire wall there. That entire wall system is infinite beam. It's no deflection, and yet it's still making it back from span to span here, dissecting it, because it's not really. This is not really beamed. It was allowed. It was allowed, and it looks like it's meeting the distance allowed also. But there's a defect in its application down there because it's already cracking apart. Considering that the application works, that ACI 1979 nailed it. They still are saying the same thing incidentally today, so I don't expect much of a cry from that. See, and you can see it. The huge amount of this whole tributary area is just trashed. All right, so there it is working its way across to that column, but working its way across the tributary area, the center line. And as she turns down, so here it goes here, it meets here, comes across, and there we are coming across towards the column. Right outside the critical shear area, it looks like we can see it, which is the way it would do it also. And right about here as I turn, I'm trying to slow it down. I'm trying to... There's another line I want to show you, and then there we go. So there's the other line going across right here. Looks like they did some patching. But then as we rotate and we have that, use that pipe as our center line, and we turn our camera around, it looks like it's coming back, tracing behind us over our left shoulder, which puts us towards that column. This is towards that column, and there's the where they decide to party, if you will, where right there, that plane there where they decide that they can share loads, distribute the loads back to each other, hand off to each other backwards. Again, it's a different configuration. It's not the that is with beams, the one we're not looking at with beams, but it's still the tributary area. I believe that's a camera there. Obviously, we're not going to see any images of cameras because they want millions of dollars to evaluate this, and nowhere did in the court orders did they say we want to forensically go after the cameras, we want to forensically look at the hard drives. Nothing. That was not mentioned in the court order at all. I went through that crazy document and I was hoping to see the forensic in there. No, they're saying $4 million and they'll do some forensics. So they're going to get to the bottom of it with about $4 million. NIST is taking $22 million, whatever it is. Papa Smurf's got $2 million. So between them, that's what? 2, 4, 6, $28 million? Really? And nobody seems to have been able to just grab some camera work. All right, whatever. So, welcome to our beautiful government. They're going to protect themselves. Nobody wants to see this. All right, there's the plane there cracked. So this is the tributary area. I'm ending the video. Just wanted you can find this video. You see the title of it, and you can go over it yourself. It's at this plane here. This is where a butterfly action failure happens. So we have a triggering point. Oh, I didn't finish the other part of the video. The rotation from the wall. I didn't finish my comment on that, did I? I'll try to finish this up a bit. So this held on longer, and as this, so I think the collapse was something like, oh, okay. Something like, I imagine it kind of something like, oh, what the heck is not drawing? Oh, it is, but it's, took away the ink. Great. So imagine it's something like, get out of there. Well, that one is kind of in a clean plane. Over here is kind of in a clean shot. So let's just give it that. So that's where it breaks free. It's maybe a little past that over here, and then we're looking at the paver joint. But there's the butterfly, right? We can't deny that that exists, but we can come up with a reason for it because there's no cars there. This is that driveway area. We can come up with a reason why this is flat here because there's no cars there and it's flat there. Okay, great. So that gives us, you're telling me that if this failed here, that it would make sense that it would fall to the floor here because there's no cars to stop it, to put it at rest. But cars are here, along this plane here, that would put the decking at rest. Decking would be at rest over here underneath. Too much here. All right, so that gives me a little torque action there, doesn't it? So we get a little torque action because this is the open field here. All right, this part goes down. Okay, I can see that. This part goes down to my butterfly. As this fails internally, this goes down first. This goes down second. It holds up for a moment, and during that holding up, there is that rotation that gives us a little bump out of the block wall there. And this box is rotating down, and so it's, as we're looking at it from here, it's rotating down and away from us towards the underside of the garage. So here's the top of the box, and it's down and away towards the vehicles and away, rotating under. This section here is my column I keep teasing you guys about. No one's called me out on where the column is. I believe it's just that. When it broke free, it swings over and hangs like a broken finger hanging from there. You can look at that in the imagery, and you'll see it. And as this pulls away, the wall profile looks narrow here, and then you can see it bulge, wrong direction. It's narrow there, a little thin line, and then it appears to pull over that way. If you look at the fireman, pull away from the sidewalk and then back in right here, fine again. Oh, great. So our bump is right about there where it pushes the wall. This floor decking is so engrossed with this part that it held up for quite a moment, literally a moment. And as this went down, as this fractured here, rotated, it kicked this over to this, like that. It clicked that wall over to there. Okay, let me move it over a bit. Over to like that, over that column. It left part of the gate railing system there, as you saw, like that, on top of it. It's a little bit bent out also. It's bent this direction. And this part has gone, these two sections over here are up here on the deck. And then the rest of this, when this box rotated, let's put the box out to there with the rotation, and I think I can go here too. So when this box rotated with that clockwise motion there, it rotated this wall, kicking this off the column, rotating it, dropping it down on top of the grass. So we have to have this side going down first to allow this to follow behind it. To do that, it had to be anchored even more to hold it up while this was going down, and we need something to indicate that. Well, we're in luck. The indicators of the firemen and the policemen and all, we look at the ground level out there at nighttime, we can see the gap here. So, and when you see in the daytime when the firemen are there, you see reinforcement steel that's been strained. And yes, you see from this side stone. All right, well, you see the stone. All right, whatever the image, I can't evaluate that image. I don't know who took it and what camera or whatever. But I know that wall is displaced, pulled outward towards this direction before releasing. I know I see the steel by the fireman's foot during the daytime, not tons, but steel that's been elongated. I know this box is on top of the shrubbery. Hey, I gotta go. Sorry to cut you short like this. Enjoy yourselves. Love you all. This should give you a really good teaser. Oh, over here, we know this has been. This is back here, I think. The shear plane goes this way. It leaves this shelf. It does not take out the gym as Miami Herald, as Don Lehman, as University of Washington State's, and as Sydney Award supports. Troll of the day. Yes, just because I wear a nice hat doesn't make me smart. Bye.